Hello, first grade. Are you ready for your art lesson? Spring week 2. Last week we learned how to draw a bird and we just kind of made a bird. This week we are going to start looking at a particular bird. This week is going to be the red-bellied woodpecker. So before we get started, you're going to need paper, like your sketchbook, or other kind of paper, any kind of regular paper, a pencil and eraser, and your coloring supplies. Your learning target today: I can observe basic shapes in nature to help with my drawing, and I can draw a bird with good proportions, correct proportions. Before we go too far, I would like to show you some of my really good examples from last week and our birds that we had from spring week 1. So we're going to be looking at the red-bellied woodpecker. This picture actually might not be the best to show you its red belly, but it has some red feathers on its stomach, and it is a woodpecker, which means it uses its very hard beak to knock on trees to make a hole so it can find bugs that live in the trees. So we're going to be looking at how to draw this little fella right here. Alright, so I'm going to leave my other picture up so you can get a good idea and see what I'm watching, or see what I'm looking at when I draw. So you can look at the picture I have of the actual picture if you want to use that one, or you can follow along with me. So the first thing we're going to start with is the same thing we started last time. We're going to start with a circle. Now we're going to add an oval. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I told you last time that our circle, or our oval, is the same size as 2 of our circles. So our circle was 2 inches. And that means that the body there's 2 inch and there's another 2 inch, which means that the head and the body are all 3 parts. 2 parts are the body, and the head is the 3rd part. So that also means that I'm going to make sure that my body comes down to about here at least. So we've got our oval, we've got a circle, we're going to put our triangle, and woodpeckers have really long beaks, so we're going to make it a pretty long triangle. We're going to add our rectangle for the feathers, or for the tail, but we're going to add a new oval. We're going to add another oval for the wing. So I'm going to start it right here. It's going to go out that way. Now you can, at this point in time, you could also draw the tree that your bird is going to be standing on. And we've drawn almost every single part of our bird. I mean, now we just have to erase some parts and get rid of some things and add details. So once you've looked for your basic shapes, the rest is just adding in details. So let's look at the beak. So with this easy to draw shape, it stops at the head, but we're not going to do that. We're actually going to make that beak come back, and we're going to make a little V at the end. It's kind of like we've made a long diamond. Then we're going to take that line and go around, because as we discussed in class, everybody's beak has 2 parts and has to be able to come apart. Then we can make sure that gets connected to the head. Now we need to work on this part, the neck. I'm going to erase just a little bit. I'm going to clean out that line down there. Now I didn't erase the whole line. I just wanted to make sure that when we come down here, we can add a gentle line. There we go. And now our woodpecker has a neck instead of a circle sitting on top of an oval. There we go. Now let's fix. The next thing is this wing is actually on top of the rest of the bird. We see the wing in front. So I have to get rid of some of these extra lines down here. And that. And those of you who have very sharp eyes have noticed that there's actually more. I should have drawn kind of a triangle at the end of his wing. So I'm going to come down here, I'm going to add that, and then I'll erase those extra lines. Because again, that wing is on top of the rest of the bird. The tail is on top of the body. And now we're almost done. The only thing our bird is missing that this guy has is a foot. So these feet are kind of easy. You're going to draw a line, kind of a long line coming out. And then you can draw another line underneath it. And you can make that a circle. And it's got these claws or talons at the end to hold on to it. But that's not the only one. These birds have 3 toes. So right about here, I'm going to make a letter V. Do the same thing. And then down here as well. I'm going to make that letter V. Right there is that V. And add that. Ta-da! Now the only thing left to do is add the color. Now there is a detail to his wing. I'm going to hop back to the screen for a second. The woodpeckers have these kind of black and white and a little bit of gray patterns on them. If you can see my mouse, I'm trying to go. There's a black, white, black, white, black, white, black, white. But they don't go straight across. No. They go with the shape of the bird. So they kind of bend a little bit. So I'll make a few of these to make a reminder for myself. And then when I colored them, I did them in the pattern. Gray, white, black. Gray, white, black. Black, gray, white, things like that. It's the same thing on his tail too. And, like I said, he's got a red stomach, so I made part of the feathers on his stomach red. And they all have these like almost red mohawks going up there. So once you've drawn your woodpecker, it's time to start working on the coloring. You can use you can use crayons, or if you've got them, you can use markers, whichever one will help you. And that is our woodpecker. If you have any questions, you can email me at afrans@amanaacademy.org. And don't forget to check your Seesaw page in your art folder for your assignment. Thank you.